Welcome back. So we've talked about the two pillars that are the crucial pillars that we call about the four pillars of marketing plan. So we talked about the how to identify your audience and the customer journey, and we are now going to go into the SWOT analysis section. You will get as much as you put in when it comes to this section. Here's what I mean. If you want to sugarcoat it for yourself, cool. You're just not going to get what you need. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are your opportunities? And what are your threats? Simple. We're not going to spend too much time going through this because it really doesn't need it. But really think about, what are your strengths? What are you good at? Right? So if I was doing this for Robert, like, Robert, what are the three things you would say you're good at? Well, I'm good at videos. I'm good at this. I'm good at that. Right? Like, pick those things. So for me specifically, and we'll kind of live roll it, is like, for me specifically, what we're good at is we're good at content. We're good at really being transparent. And we have some really, really cool tools that we have built in the agency in-house that can really help with your geographical targeting and getting you the people that you need, right? So I can honestly say that's what we're good at. What do we need to improve? Well, we need to find a better way for conversions when it comes to our website. We don't do a good job of that. We have a lot of visitors. We need to do a better job of that. We also need to do a better job of getting our word out there. Yes, content creates contact, but at the same time, I want to be sure that I'm creating the right content for the people. The opportunities I have is, my goal is to dominate the market when it comes to content. That's that simple. I want to bring and I want to shed light into people coming in and reaching what it is that we can reach with the content that we're creating. And if business comes out of it, that's great. But my goal is not business. My goal is the content part of it. And the biggest threat, what is the biggest harm to me, is that if I start slacking on producing content, right? So the opportunity is, I brought somebody on as a co-host like Robert, who's going to keep me accountable. Like, I know that if I don't show up, he's going to ask me, like, what the heck are we doing? Why are we not doing this, right? So you kind of bring that accountability partner. So I offset my threat by turning it into an opportunity and the strength behind it, which is bringing an accountability partner. But Robert, take 5 to 10 minutes and walk us through how you as a real estate agent would look through and work through your SWOT analysis.
Sure. So as an agent, we always have to think of the task that bring the most outcome or money, if you want to put it in those words. So you always have to look at what you are good at. So for example, a real estate agent should be good at prospecting, meaning scripting, memorizing those scripts, role playing with other people, and of course putting it in practice. That's what a good realtor should be good at. It's all this scripting. That's very important. Now, what an agent it's not good at it, maybe building systems, maybe editing videos. Okay, so I'll tell you an example. So when I decided to start doing videos, I was researching the topic. I was doing the talking head in front of the camera. I did the video, and then I went and edited a video. But I noticed that my editing skills were not up to where I wanted it based on what other videos I was watching from other people. One, and two, that it was just really a lot of work for me that it was involved, and I was not too happy with that. Then I started looking all over the place, like Fiverr and some of these other places where you can send someone to edit, and I was dealing with people that are just like a one-time type of thing. Like, you give them something, they do it for you. Next time you reach out to them, they're not available or they were not responsive. So I said, okay, since this is going to be a system that I want to continue to engage, that I wanted to continue to have the tools available, then I went and talked to Amir, and Amir gave me a good solution. Then I went ahead and we went to Agency 270 to start producing these things for me. So then we created a system. He said, okay, here's how we're going to do the system. You're going to shoot these mini videos on this day. So you're going to block this day. You're going to come up with all the things, and then you're going to send it over to us, and we're going to edit the videos, and you're going to release them as soon as you want, once a week, 2 videos a week, once a month. It's up to you. But then we came up in that rhythm, and then the system, and then that everything started to work very well at that point. So exactly, that's what I'm just giving an example, right? What you should be good at it, and what you're not good at it, you need to delegate. And the money, it's in the delegation. When you learn to delegate things to other people, that's when you have leverage, because now I can spend 2-3 hours of prospecting. I can spend 2-3 hours of showing houses. I can spend 2-3 hours going to an appointment,
Yeah.
and I will have somebody doing things for me. Now, that leverage has a cost, but at the same time, the cost of your time invested into these things is a whole nother thing. So here's where you need to really make a distinction: what really you want to be doing, what really you want to be investing your time into it, and what you shouldn't. So this is what is very important to look to know: your strengths,
Yeah.
your weaknesses, your opportunities. Okay, and this is what you need to be really looking into it. And I highly recommend you do this not only for work but for home. Like, I'm not a good at cook. I'm not a good cook. I mean, I can grill, but I'm not good at coming up with recipe. But then my wife is really good at coming up with really good recipes. So I will go
Yeah.
ahead and say, hey, why don't you do? I'll go to the grocery, buy you the things, put them here. You do the cooking. You prepare the meals. You put them on the plate, and we all eat the meals of family. And then you go and sit and relax and take a break. And then I'll pick up the dishes with my oldest, and then we're gonna wash the dishes, put them, and clean the kitchen. And that has been our system, and it's working fine. She's happy, I'm happy, everybody's happy. So you just really have to find those, and but that makes a team. Now, like, that really creates a team, and a team outperforms an individual.
Yeah. Yeah. No, 100%. I think identifying factors are huge, right? Like, what am I good at? What do I need help? I think what happens is a lot of business owners get caught up here because they're not honest with themselves, and then they lose all the opportunities, and then because the threats step in,
Hmm.
right? We think we are so good at everything, and it's like, you're not. Let's be honest, you are not. Let's
Mm-mm.
just be honest with yourself. I'm not good at everything, so I need to make those things. So I think those are huge to kind of think about. And then this is something that we have that I absolutely love, and we use this a lot. It's called the problem and solutions table. So it's simple. It's 3 tiers. It's what's the problem, describe the problem, and what's the solution you can get out of it. Um, and I use this a lot. I use this honestly. It's interesting because you mentioned how a SWOT analysis could be turned into kind of like you could do this in your home type of thing. It's we've I've used this at home. Like, we're trying to solve a problem with, do we need this car, or can we do without it? And like, so it's like, or our problem is, well, we need a bigger car because the stroller and this and this and this and this can't fit. Well, like, let's really describe the problem. What's the solution? We either buy another car and these are the expenses to it, or we don't, and these are like, these are such intertwinable things with your personal and your business, especially with small to medium sized business owners. Those two things tend to spill over. But yeah, this is something we use all the time. So again, if you guys would like to use this problem and solutions table or problem solution table, please let us know, and we will send that to you happily. And then these are just some marketing pillars that I wanted to cover today very, very quickly, because I do think that one of the things I want Robert to focus on is kind of his video CMA, and we are getting close to that hour mark. But really, the marketing pillars, and this is for some real estate agents as well, and other things you can use other places. There's 2 pillars out of the 5. There are 2 pillars that we call digital. So your blogs, your guides, your one pagers, your social media presence, video content, enhancing your website. Is it your Google presence? Are you doing workshops or seminars? Outbound stuff are like your mailers, your open house, your cold calling, your door knocking, and your out there marketing, as we call it. Like, you are out and about and doing the marketing itself. And then database marketing. I think this is where Robert really thrived, as well as some of the video stuff here. But his database of loyalty, the emails, the neighborhood updates, the video CMAs, which we'll have him jump into, and being that overall educator to his database. And then as far as events go, sphere of influence events, your past client clients, and then your events that you do in the community. But I think, if you are starting out in the business and you really don't have the money, or things are a little bit tight, focus on your digital, and then focus on your out there marketing, because they're not going to cost you a lot of money. And then this one as well, you're hitting your CMA. Everything under events will have some cost to it. Mailers will have the biggest cost out of everything you do here. Mailers will have the biggest cost. Cold calling, whether it's systems or not, could have it as well.